it will show you 16.04. Then I updated it to 18.04 because I cannot straight away go to 20.04. I have to come from 16 to 18, 18 to 20 I should go. So what I did is actually last week I updated Ubuntu 16.04 to 18. And yesterday, I think day before yesterday, I updated it to yesterday. I updated it to 18 to 20, then it crashed. So these problems are there. Now what I did today morning, I sat. You believe or not, till 3:30 I was working. You see, I'll show you. So here, if you see very carefully, my earlier virtual machine was Ubuntu, something like that. I did a mistake actually. The name used to be Ubuntu. And morning I sat. You see here some of the. I don't think you will be able to remember these options settings. This is actually a 30 GB disk file with 8 GB RAM. My earlier machine was 2 GB RAM file. Morning I sat for you all and I created a fresh virtual machine in which I kept Ubuntu operating system, and then after I installed Hadoop and then I installed Pig. So that is what I was doing right from the beginning. This is the only work for me. Do you all listen to me? Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
So you see, I will show you. This is LSB release A, I think. See, Ubuntu 20.04. Earlier, my when I installed Hadoop in, I've shown you right. I mean, throughout my classes, right from the beginning, I was showing you how to install Ubuntu Linux first, and then after Hadoop and all. That's how the classes have been going on. So when I was trying to install Hadoop in Ubuntu 20.04, actually, it was not. I was not successful. And then what I did, I imported the appliance, my ready-made appliance, and which was 16.04. It was not 20.04. Do you all remember? I was giving all demos using Ubuntu 16.04, not 20.04. And then what happened today? I deleted it from my virtual box, and then I installed a fresh Ubuntu 20.04, and in which you see my release. Actually, it is 2.7. Earlier, I used a 2.8 in my classes. Now I did everything afresh. I downloaded CD downloads. You see all of them. I downloaded, Hadoop 2.04, and then I downloaded Pig. And they're also in my forthcoming classes. I'll be. By the way, what is the last date for your instruction? I think you received some communication from the department. It seems a couple of days before. Is it 8th?
15th or 13th, sir. I'm not sure about it.
Okay. So I downloaded everything and all these distributions are ready in my, so I'll install one by one. So coming to the discussion, actually today's class is going to be Pig, right? So I said we are going to have discussion on Pig. So by the way, what is this Pig? It is a programming language. It is a programming language meant for data processing. And why we are interested in Pig? Because we are not interested in MapReduce. Earlier, in earlier versions of Hadoop, MapReduce was the only programming language which used to take care of the entire network. There wasn't Uzi, Vanilleo, Ambari, Zookeeper. Even now today, they're all actually network orchestration tools. And we don't use Hadoop to take care of the network. We just concentrate on data processing. But earlier, MapReduce was the only engine which used to take care of the configuration, provisioning, and then adding, decommissioning the nodes. I mean, ఒక node ని యాడ్ చేయడం, node ని delete చేయడం, తర్వాత node ని configure చేయడం, name node ని data nodes ని set చేయడం తర్వాత ఇవన్నీ కూడా all these activities were being done using MapReduce. But today you have a lot of other tools. Now, so let's go to this. Do you all see my browser? Um, before I get into the Latin comments, big Latin comments, let me show you. I think I have to start cluster because that is very, very imperative. If the cluster is there and if you use Pig, then it straight away start in MapReduce. So in my last class, actually, I've told you that there are ways to start Pig. Can somebody remember what are they? Hello, are you all there? Do you listen to me? There's no response. So do I think you are there or not? Do I think you are there or not?
Yes, sir.
So who said yes?
Ritika, sir.
No, Ritika, you are the only one who. Okay, is there Bashya? Bashya is there? No response. Ishita, are you there? There's no response. I think you're all not there in the class. Chandrika, are you there? I don't. Okay, Ritika, they're all there or
Yes,
not?
sir, I am there, sir. Yes, sir, we are there, sir.
Then why are you not responding to me? Yamma Bashya is not there, it seems.
Sir?
Bhasha is not there in the class, sir.
What about this Ishita?
Ishita is also not there, sir.
Ishita and Bhashya are absent for the class today, sir.
అంటే వీళ్ళని ఎందుకు అడుగుతున్నా అంటే because these are the Sai is there.
Sai Kiran is all. Sai Kiran.
He's
He's there,
there.
sir. He's there, sir.
Sai Kiran, are you there? Sai Kiran, yes, say yes or no. Otherwise, I will ask all of you to open
yes,
the.
sir.
Okay. So I think last time we had some discussion on Hadoop, right? We have a lab session.
Yes, sir.
Venkatesh, is he there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ashutosh is there.
Yes, sir.
Amai, Rabi, are you there?
Rabia sessions.
Yes,
Siddharth?
sir.
Okay. Okay, so you're all there, active. So
Yes.
if you're not responding to my questions, I assume that you're all sleeping or making fun behind the computers. Okay, so if you see everything is set up properly. Now my data node starts, name node starts. But earlier when I installed Hadoop 3.2 in Ubuntu 20.04, actually it was not working. But now I changed it. If I take you, I have only one version. I can show you that. I do LSCD, LSLA, because there is only one version. So earlier, actually, I demonstrated 3.2 in 20.04, but it was not working. Then what I did is, I changed to 2.7 is working. So my assumption is correct. So 3.2 Java version, it is 8, and I have both. Java versions are there. ఇవన్నీ ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే because it is just a couple of minutes, that's all. మామూలుగా మీరు కంప్లైంట్ చేస్తుంటారు కదా సార్ అది పని చేయట్లేదు ఇది పని చేయట్లేదు మాకు ఇది వర్క్ అవట్లేదు అది వర్క్ అవన్నీ కూడా అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ ట్రూ యాక్చువల్లీ దే డోంట్ వర్క్ బట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు బీ bit tough. If you're not tough, you see I have two versions of Java, but I am using Java 8, not 11. 8 with 2.7 is working. That is what is the point. So నేను ఏం చెప్తున్నానంటే ఇదంతా ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే జావా 2.7 టుగెదర్ విత్ జావా 8 ఈస్ ఎ పర్ఫెక్ట్ కాంబినేషన్ అనమాట. అదే మీరు హడూప్ 3 ఉందనుకోండి, ఐ కెన్ ఆల్సో ఇన్స్టాల్ 3 ఇన్ ద సేమ్ సిస్టమ్ సైడ్ బై సైడ్. ఐ కెన్ హ్యావ్ 2 different versions. There is nothing, just like I have Java 11 and Java 8, 2 different versions are there. So I can also have Java Hadoop 3 and Hadoop 2. It is possible for us to switch between the versions. I can switch if I want 2.7. So this is actually a testing server. We are using a local host server, which is for testing. It is not a full-fledged cluster. We have only one node, which mimics like the master and as well as slave. I have one single node cluster. That is what is the. So now coming to the pig. Okay, cd. If I use cd pig home, now it goes. You see, it just straight away goes to the pig. Earlier it was not. I installed it. So how I install? So that is actually the. So even if I can give you this virtual machine at the end of the course. After I finish the course I will just export it as an appliance, and I can share this appliance to entire class, and you can just download that appliance. Now what you need to do is pig installation. ఎందుకంటే మీరు if you go to Apache Pig, you will not be able to find correct. You have Edureka and tutorials points something. Tutorials points is straightforward actually. So I can open Edureka. You just need 3 variables and then installing pig is very straightforward. Even for that matter, Hadoop is also very straightforward. Only thing is you are not acquainted with Linux, base Linux. That is what is tough thing to you. మీకు టఫ్ ఎక్కడ అవుతుందంటే మీరు మనకి ఇవి కావాలి. దీస్ ఆర్ వాట్ ఐ నీడ్. సో ఫస్ట్ మీరు ఏం చేయాలంటే pig download. So you'll go to the Apache pig download, and then there you have to go to see here download button, and then because ఇవన్నీ మీకు తెలిసి ఉండాలి. You have to know how to install, because ఎవరో ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి మీరు వాడుకోవడం కాదు, మీరు ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి మీరే వాడుకోవాలి. You have to install your software and you should use it. When you are a user of a software, if you don't know how to install it, it is ridiculous. That is why I'm telling you all these things. Download release now, then you can go to the whatever the mirror you can choose. You see here there are 2 versions. So both of them are released in 2020. Okay, actually I'm using the Hadoop version 2.7, which is released in 2016. Please be cautious. Okay, how do I know that? Hadoop download. Well, there you will go to the server Hadoop. You see here Apache Hadoop. You have to go to Apache Hadoop. Now you got Apache release archive. ఇందులో ఇవన్నీ కూడా distributions. See how many versions are there. All versions are there here till 3.3. 3.3 is the latest version, and now I'm using 2.7. Where is it? Here it is. Now what is the release date? It is 2017. I'm sorry, I said 2016. It is not 2016, 2017. So I'm using Apache Pig, which is released in 2020. I'm using 0.16 because I don't want to go for the latest, because these latest versions are always problematic in Hadoop. That is my experience. But if you have patience, you can just make experiments with the different versions. But I don't have the time to make experiments, in spite of my being sat right from the morning and set up this virtual machine. But that I have to do it. I don't have the మీలాగా నేను చెప్పలేను, నాకు అది పని చేయట్లేదు, ఇది వర్క్ చేయట్లేదు అని చెప్పేది. I have to do it. So morning I sat and just till 3:30 I was working. So నేనేం చేశానంటే I downloaded the pig 0.16. అది ఎక్కడ ఉంది? Where is it? It is there in my downloads. I can go to the downloads. So I downloaded it here. Where is this? This one. You see here pig 0.16.0. That's easy. This is actually the pig library. Okay. So once I did this, either you can go here, you can use the same or right click, open in terminal. So now straight away go to the downloads. I don't want to do this because too many terminals will not do good. Now downloads. Ikkada pig undi. Now what I need to do, I cannot use, this is .zz, which means archive, tar archive. Tar XVF. X ante enti extract, C ante compress. Now pig ila ante manaki, now tar is just going to create a directory. Okay, so I am just extracting it, that's all. I downloaded the archive, and I'm extracting just like rar file or zip file. Thoughts easy ante. This is just like a zip file. In Linux we use tar. In Windows use zip or rar. In Windows we use rar. In Linux we use tar. That is only. This is actually an archive. Archive ante compressed file. A folder when compressed it become an archive. So దీన్ని నేను unarchive చేశాను extracted. I extracted. Now how do I know that? ls. You see here there is a folder. So I extracted this file into this using a command called tar. So you don't need to install sudo apt-get install tar and చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు ఎందుకంటే Linux install చేసినప్పుడు this is one of the default libraries available for the users. Okay, now what I need to do is I'm going to take this folder, pig folder. I use pig ls. See, all these libraries are there now. So what I need to do, I have to move this to my default location. What is the location? Hadoop eక్కడ install చేసాం మనం sudo mv pig etc. Now user local, that's it. అక్కడికి తీసుకెళ్ళాలి. అక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది నేను దీన్ని ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసినాను కాబట్టి ఈ యాక్టివిటీస్ నేను చేశాను అనమాట. సో ఫస్ట్ వన్ డౌన్లోడింగ్ ఇట్, నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఎక్స్ట్రాక్టింగ్ ఇట్, థర్డ్ వన్ మూవింగ్ ఇట్, and now let's go to that location. So after moving, what I did, local, you see here ls la. See here I already created a symbolic link. అది ఎలా చేస్తాం, ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసింది ఈ ఫోల్డర్, ఇక్కడికి వచ్చింది. ఎక్కడున్న ఫోల్డర్? somewhere you will find ఇది ఫోల్డర్. I moved that folder from downloads to user local by using cd move, sudo move. So that folder has come here. Now see, this is actually a testing environment. So I'll be installing different versions of pig. So pig now I have 0.16, but I may install tomorrow, I may install 0.17, which is latest. So every time I cannot whenever I extract, I create a folder for. So installing all these tools is just extracting them to a folder, that's it. అంటే నేను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు మీకు ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే యూ మైట్ బి ఫీలింగ్ దట్ ఆల్ దీస్ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఆర్ బిట్ టఫ్. దే ఆర్ నాట్ టఫ్ యాక్చువల్లీ. What we are doing is we are downloading the archive files and we are extracting them to a particular location. So what is the location in my computer? This is the location. So I'm downloading pig, I'm extracting it to this location. That's it. That is what I'm doing. That is what is called installation. Now once you extract and set them ready in a directory, now what happens is this is home directory for pig. For pig, cd pig ila chesanukondi. Now pwd, this is home directory. So I downloaded pig libraries to my computer in Linux, and then I extracted, I moved them to this folder pig. Now after this, what I need to do, so we downloaded, we extracted, now we need to configure. So whenever we install software in Linux, download, extract, configure. Now what are we going to do? We are just going to tell Linux, pick the pig commands from this location. So what is that location? This location, the installation location. So here the pig is. Now I need to tell Linux, whenever I want to do something with pig, you go to this location and pick the commands. So that is what I need to do. So how I'm going to do that? ls la. There is a file called bash.c. This is an environmental file. So whenever I want to create an environmental variable, I have to go inside this, get it, okay, .bash.c. Now I think I'm not, okay, fine, let me see. Yeah, go down, you see I created these variables. So now pig home, pick the pig, this is the home directory for the pig, and now add it to the existing path. See this one, add it to the existing path, and then I also created one class file that is Hadoop home. Hadoop home, etc Hadoop. This is actually, etc is, what is this etc? This is actually Hadoop config directory. Hadoop config directory. This is actually, etc is everywhere, even in Linux, etc is meant for configuration. So Hadoop configuration is available from this path. So that is actually the pig class path. Pig class path is this path. Because we'll be working with Hadoop. Whenever we work with Hadoop, actually Hadoop, pig is meant for Hadoop. So pig should know where to pick the Hadoop binaries. It's not binaries actually, the configuration material, the material for the configuration. So the pig class path is going to be the Hadoop configuration directory. So one variable for the pig home, the other variable for the pig class path, and then update the path to the existing path. So that is what I did actually. I didn't do anything much. If you say echo, okay, path, this is the path in my computer. If I say echo, okay, home, this is the home path. If I say echo and then say, let's say user, that is the user. Okay, if I say echo, and then these are all actually by default. Home, ego, even in a new, I didn't create environment variables for all these, keys. Home, user, these are all default. Okay, but I created one for Hadoop, that is Hadoop home, and then I created another for pig, echo, pig, okay, and home. So this is all about installation. Now if I say cd, okay, pig home, that should take me to the default pig location. This is actually the location. So here, from here, we'll be working with cd bin. This is the bin directory from where all pig binaries are there. So pig, whenever I execute pig, this command is being executed from this location. So how does that happen? Say for example, I go to, now I am in my home, right? If I say pig, this command is going to pick the binary from this location. So how that happens? That happens because I told the Linux to pick the pig binaries from this location through bash or cipher. So that is where this environment variables play a very big role. Now is it clear how to install pig? So if you are clear about this, then I'll go to the pig programming. We have a lot of things to discuss. So this is all about, so you can just go online and search like, how to install pig in Linux. Then you can find so many blogs and pick one of the blogs. Any questions regarding pig installation? So if you don't have any questions, then let me open this material. So what is this pig? Now, whenever I use, suppose if I want to see the pig version, I just have to use pig version. That's all. I think that is what is, yeah, pig version. I think pig capital V will not work. I think, yeah, it will not work. Yeah, it doesn't work. So whenever you want to see pig, then it is just like Java. Like we use Java dash version, something like that. So pig version. So this is actually the, and one thing, another important thing which you need to know is pig has got properties file. Okay, if you want to know what are the different properties that are being used by pig, then you need to execute a command called pig dash h properties dash h properties. So pig has a properties file. I think you should be having that file in your home or pig home directory. ls la. You have anything called yeah, you got pig logs here being created, pig history profile, and then I think you don't have the, you have any folder called pig here? I don't think you don't have the folder. Pig log files are being created in my home directory. There is a file called pig history. This profile file is actually an alias for the bash RC. That is not important for you. You just leave it. I think it should be there in the pig properties, should be there. Pig cd pig home. Here you'll find ls. Somewhere you'll be having pig properties. I don't know where you have cd config. Yeah, pig properties. Here you have the pig properties. I think this one, pig properties. So to open this pig properties, I think you can also use sudo gedit pig properties. I don't, yeah. So you are just so if you open this is a very important file for you need to understand what are the different properties properties we need to. We are not going to do anything with this. At times, sometimes what happens actually, you may think of changing the properties for pig. This is actually the core command, pig dash h properties. Then all the properties in this file will be populated in this shell. So you got a property for the pig log file, something like this, and log for jconfig. This is actually one of the important libraries. Um, Leave it, okay. And then verbose false, brief. Even you got commented in it. If you observe everything, they're all commented. So if suppose if I want to enact, I want to make this verbose false, highlight this, then I need to just remove that pound sign before that statement, and brief logging debug info, something like that. These are all actually the problems. Pick pretty print schema false. You can make it true. So that is what I'm saying. Pick the UDF profile false. You can make it true, and then so like that. There are so many properties here. Um, so like that, there are. This file is one of the important files, and now to set the properties, you have a set function. Okay, it will not work actually. You need to get into pick. So that is one thing you have to know. You have to know what is pig version, and then pig properties, h properties. These are actually two of the commands which we execute without using picture. These are the two properties, two statements which we execute without using picture. Now let me take you to the picture. Now I'm going to the home directory. If I use pig like this, if I press pig, it is going to open the grunt shell. Okay, now I'm in the grunt shell. This is the grunt shell. In this shell, this is actually in the map reduce mode. So in last class, in my previous class, actually I explained what are the different modes to which we work with pig. So two of the modes which are very important for us is pig local, pig map reduce. So these are the two modes. So if to quit the shell, we use quit. It just come back, or control D, control C, whatever it is. I think control D is now if you want to work in local mode, pig dash x local. So now it is in local mode. It will open. It is in local mode. Okay. Now let's quit. If you want to go for map reduce mode, then pig dash x map reduce. Okay, either you can use this or you can just simply use pig. So this is actually the way you are going to open pig. So now whenever you use, you can choose one of the modes to get into the pig shell. So once you get into the pig shell, pig will display this grunt greater than sign. Now pig is ready to accept any command from you. Okay, now you can start writing all the commands, everything and anything. Now at this point in time, I want to take you to the documentation. So because this is, so how did I come here? I came here just by searching pig Latin commands. That's it. So yeah, the second one is pig Latin basics. So you can just come here. Now you need to read each and every statement in this documentation. So there's a beautiful documentation for this. There are three different this is the introduction. So till here it is all introduction. You don't need any textbook. You just have to come here and read about pig. You have the conventions, reserved keywords, and case sensitivity. These are all three important issues with pig. And then you got the data types. It's your duty to know because I already told you. So learning any language is all about learning how that language is going to handle the data. And then control flow. So two things are important to learn any programming language. Either it is Java, you talk about Pig, Python, R, anything, whatever it is. So first you have to know how that language is going to understand the data, and then how do we need to understand decision making, which means control flow, if and for loop, that's all. This is what is all about a programming language. Now these are the three important issues. We'll go back to this, and now you have to know about the data types and few operators. Okay, what are the different? Pig is a programming language. As usual, it is. You need to know what are the different operators, and then commands. Okay, some commands. Pig has got some commands called Latin, Pig Latin commands. These are all Latin commands. Assert, cogroup, cross, cube, define, distinct, filter, for each group. ఇవన్నీ కూడా మనం వాడమండి. We don't use all this, join, outer, inner, limit, load, native. ఇవన్నీ కూడా Pig Latin commands అంటాం. All these Latin commands need to be, I never use actually, but there is a convention here. See, these are the conventions. These are some of the important conventions. If you want to work with a Pig, you have to follow these conventions. But though here the last one is uppercase and lowercase. Okay, there is one convention, uppercase and lowercase. So all the Latin commands must be mentioned in the uppercase. You need to use uppercase whenever you see here load is one of the Latin command, Pig Latin command, which need to be in uppercase. And these are all actually the user statements. Data is user statement. It is my statement. It is your statement. But load is not your statement. It is Pig statement. Okay. So whenever you are using Pig Latin command, you need to use it load. But that is not. Pig also accepts in lowercase letters, but it is a convention. Convention in the sense it is actually a rule. So that it is actually a very decent way of writing the programs. If you want to be a decent Pig programmer, then always, I'm not a decent man, so I'm going to be very indecent when I'm writing the programs, and you're going to see how ruthless I am. But if you, and I'm sure you are also not decent, and you will be indecent as like me. So the rule is that whenever you use Pig commands, use uppercase letters, and whenever you use your commands and your statements, use lowercase. That is what is one of the conventions. The other conventions are like this. So whenever you want to work with tuples, okay, tuple is one of the days. If you are a Python programmer, I think you should be knowing tuple is not there in Java. It is there. It is a special data type in Python. In Python, whenever you use, it is immutable data type. In Python, whenever we use any data elements inside round braces, we usually call them as parentheses. It is called tuple. Okay, it is a special data type. And Python, you will know if you are how it is one of the wonderful data types in Python, and it is widely used in web development. So I am a web developer. I use Python for web development. These tuples are widely used, in like when you mature, and if you are a celebrated Python programmer, you will know the importance of this tuple in Python. Okay, right now I don't think you will be in a position to appreciate this parenthesis, but after some time in your life, when you become an advanced programmer, you will understand how important a tuple is. Okay. Unfortunately, in Java we don't have the tuples. We start straight away from the. In Java we got array. Arrays are created by using brackets. We call them as square brackets. Square brackets are used for arrays. Arrays in Pig, they are used for maps. Okay. So whenever we use square brackets, we are not using an array. We are using a map. What do you mean a map? In Java it is called object. In Python it is called dictionary. The map is, a map in Python is like a dictionary in Python. Sorry, a map in Pig is like a dictionary in Python. So do you all know how to use dictionary in Python? Hello guys, I asked you a question.
We'll use flower brackets and colon symbols, sir.
Yes, exactly. That is what is called dictionary in Python. So in Python we use flower brackets, but in Pig we use square brackets. So for dictionaries we use square brackets in Pig, but in Python. Now in Pig, whenever you use curly braces, it is actually a bag of, a bag is actually a collection of dictionaries. It is like kind of JSON. A JSON file is a collection of dictionaries. In Java, we call them as objects, Java objects. A Java object is like a dictionary in Python, and it is a map in Pig. And a bag is actually a JSON. In Python, we call it as JSON. Even in Java, we call it as JSON. So a bag is the collection of the dictionaries. Okay, a bag is collection of maps. A map is a dictionary, and bag is a collection of maps. A map can be can have a tuple. It can have a tuple. So these are actually, and there are ellipses. This is called 3 dots. See here, this is called ellipsis, and it is a very silly thing actually. So whenever we use ellipsis, continue. It is just like continue. So these are some of the conventions which you have to know. And now there are keywords which is not important to you. There are reserved words in Pig, and we will not be. J stands for join, K stands for kill, and L stands for left. Something like A stands for assert, and any, all, arrange, or anything, average. And big and big decimal. B stands for something like that. C stands for case, cat, CD, something like that. Okay. Now this case sensitivity is once again highlighted here. So because you see here, this is actually a sample Pig code which is done by using interactive mode. This is called interactive mode because we are executing statement by statement. Now we are going to do this. Before going to do this, there is another thing which you have to know. That is actually the shell commands. Okay, Pig has got, suppose, now let's say, there is another important thing which you have to know, that is Pig shell. Before we jump into the, now I am in some, place. So I opened the Pig shell in some place. Okay, sh pwd, this is the place. Now what is this sh? This sh is actually a Pig command which performs Linux bash commands. See, this pwd actually, it is not a Pig command. It is Linux command. Now if I say shls, these are actually some of the ingredients of my, I'm sorry, I opened a Word file which I don't want. Okay, these are some of the ingredients of my directory, which is home Ubuntu, which is my home. Now I open one more. Now I am in pwd in my home. Let me use ls. This is actually the same with this one. So this one. So these are the ingredients of my home directory. Now let's go to the Pig shell. Now you see they're all the same. Desktop, documents, and all everything. But one thing is, it won't work CD. CD, you can't use CD. See, if you use CD, and then maybe, I don't know, like, let me use the downloads. Because right now, I'm in home. Downloads folder is one of the folders in it. Just become quiet. And now when you use the pwd, you are still in home. You cannot change. To change, what you need to do is, now I am quit. I'm out of Pig shell. You need to go to downloads. Okay. Now if I use Pig here, let's see. I don't know. I'm just doing it. Let's say sh pwd. You are in downloads. So this is how you need to. So you can't change directories in Pig. Once you are into the shell, Pig shell, you cannot change from one place to the other place, but you can just quit it, change the directory, come back to Pig. Because why it is important is, many times what we do is we write the scripts. So whenever we write the scripts should be in the current working directory. And this is how we go to that particular working directory. Suppose if I have I can also use the path in my script. That is not a big thing, but every time using the path is will give you pain in your head. So it is always better to keep the scripts in one directory, and then go to the directory. There you start the picture. That is always a better the user activity instead of now let me use the sh ls. You see, my ingredients are different. These are actually some of the ingredients in the downloads folder. So ఇవన్నీ కూడా మీకు డాక్యుమెంటేషన్లో దొరకవు. All these whatever I am talking today in this session, these things are not available in the documentation. In documentation, you just have Latin commands, but you don't have user activity. And these are all actually the productive, the way of working with programming languages. You need to be a productive programmer. You cannot just, so now quit once again. I don't need to quit. I will go to the other, now CD, where I am actually, yeah, I am in the downloads, CD downloads. Let's see if that is ls. You see, these are all the same ingredients which I have. So in Pixel, you can use few of the shell commands, but you cannot change. You cannot use cd. I don't know, maybe you can search online, like how to change directories in Pig. You'll get some there'll be surely a strategy to change from one directory to another directory, but usually what I do is I create all the Pig scripts in one directory, and then I'll try to open the Pig shell in that directory, so that all the Pig files will be. Now the last thing, I think the time is up. I'll just try to do one thing, and that thing is going to be, I'll just go to my other, I'm in the downloads, and in Pig also I'm in the downloads. You see here, I'm in the downloads. This is my current working directory. I think I can use Control L here. Yeah, I can use Control L. It works. Now I'm in the, I'll just use a small, file here. That is just going to be sudo gedit and test.txt. You don't need to use the txt. That is not required in Pig. Anything and everything will be an input file. I'll just use comma separated values. See here, I don't need to use, it is not good. And then I use 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. And then I use 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, sorry, 14, 15, and then 16, 17. What are they? These are comma separated values. 18, 19, 20. Okay, save. Okay, close. Now go back to, I think I have the test.txt is there. It is not a good thing actually, creating files in the downloads. Now sh, okay, ls. You see that test.txt is there in my directory. Now let me take you to the, this is the command which loads a file into an object and creates an object A. So as usual in R we use objects, in Python we use objects. Load is a command which loads data from the base file system using Pig storage. This is actually the convention. Load this file using Pig storage. There are different storage mechanisms in, we can also use, I'm going to, this is a comma separated file, so we cannot use just like this. What I do is I just copy this. I copy it till here, as is not required right now, but I'll just do this actually, Control Shift V. Oh, that is not coming. Okay, A is equal to load, and then income. Why we need to start inverted commas? Because that is a path. Okay, I'm just using text file as it is, but it is a path. As using, I think using also should be in capitals. Using, I think using need not be in capitals. Yeah, it should be there, but this should not be capital. Pig storage should not be in capital. Capital Pig, capital P, capital S, storage. And here since I'm using comma separated value file, I should do this. Okay, A is equal to load this file using Pig storage, and the storage strategy is comma. So this is a comma. I'm just telling it it is a comma separated value file. I think we don't have the semicolon. Yeah, we have the semicolon. So at the end you need to. Now when you press this, you see actually, okay, is deprecated. Instead use the FSD fonts. Okay, that's fine. So now there is another command called dump. Okay, in order to check if this file is actually read into the, is this object is really created or not. I want to check that. Okay, dump A and semicolon. Now let's see what's going to happen. Since I opened this in MapReduce section, and this is just going to run a MapReduce. You see here 0% complete, something like that. 100% complete. It shows like that. Now it is running a MapReduce script behind the terminal, and at the end it is just going to return the results. Let's see. I just installed Pig. It will take time because if it is local, if I open the Pig in local mode, it will not take all this, and it will not perform the MapReduce job. It will just print the. But since I used MapReduce, I think there is a failed. It's failed actually. Okay, so it is expecting. I'm sorry, actually. I cannot. There was a typo in my comment. I need to copy this file to the HDFS. Okay. So it is not failure in the MapReduce script. Actually, it is failure in my. There was a fault in my script. I will try to do that. Now the time is. Do you have the time? Do you have the class after this class? Hello guys. Do you have the class after this class? I'm asking a question.
No, sir.
Okay, so you can spend some 2-3 minutes, right? Can I take some 2-3 minutes of your time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what happens is actually I need to save the file. I quit from Pig. Now this time I'm going to open Pig X local. So that's fine actually. Pig MapReduce did not work. Now what happens? I'm in where? I think I'm in downloads, right? sh/ls. Yeah, the test.file. A is equal to load. This time I'm just using test. Use test.txt. Txt using Pig storage. And this storage is going to be comma. Okay, semicolon. Now I think it is throwing me a warning. It seems info Apache configuration application and project is replicated. Instead, use okay. That's fine. Dump A. It's again doing a lot of MapReduce. Yeah, that is. No, it is not the MapReduce. It's not running any MapReduce script behind. So earlier it had done some MapReduce script, but this is not going to execute the MapReduce script. You just have to go through. This is actually the log information. So what the Pig is trying to do. So and if your command, see here you got the MapReduce launcher successful. So it is running MapReduce program, but it is running in as a local instance. It is not going to the HDFS. If your commands are okay, you should be able to see this here. So this is actually the data file. The data file which I want to. So now I successfully created an object A, and then I also dumped the information inside that object A. This object A has got all this data which I have in this file. I don't know, cat. Yeah. So this is actually the information that text file, and which I could create an object and store this information inside that object, and we can also retrieve that information from that object by using a very sample Pig commands. So this is for this session. So anybody of you, if you have any questions, you can ask me now. So in my next class, we'll go deep into the Pig Latin basics, and we'll try to perform some analysis. Maybe, I don't know, I can show you a kind of, there are only 12 students in this session, and this is a very important session. I don't know, that's their fate. They are not interested. Any questions?
Sir, shared the class recordings.
Okay, fine. So if you don't have any questions, all of you, bye-bye. See you tomorrow.